I am glad to welcome you to my channel. If this is your first time here, then postpone watching this video and watch the very first video on this channel. This video is called "What is this channel about? The history of true religion." I want to say right away that as such, the history within the cults has not been and is not being conducted. Adepts are not fixed at all as in the past. They have only one goal, and this goal is the future. And also they direct all their forces to bring this future as quickly as possible. But along with this, there are several simply legendary moments associated with 4 legendary persons who turned everything upside down, not only within the truth of religion, but naturally throughout the world. Before talking about the origins of cults, let's go much further down the timeline, at the dawn of man's birth. In this historical period, there were no religions, no cults, there was nothing at all. But one mysterious person appeared who started everything. It was from this person that humanity began and people appeared. We do not know the gender, age, hair color or skin color of this person. We don't know anything about her at all. Before the appearance of this person, only animals inhabited our land. All living organisms lived according to only one primitive scheme. This is the satisfaction of their basic physiological needs through innate species instincts. All living organisms lived according to this scheme until one time, when this most mysterious person did not make the first cave painting. And at that moment, man became a man and separated himself from the animal world. What does it mean? The man realized the world around him and reflected it on the same cave wall, albeit in the form of a primitive, but an image that reflected the reality around him, so that you can understand all the monumentality of the event. Not a single living creature in the entire history of this reality has never, of its own accord, engaged in any kind of reflection of the surrounding reality. There are, of course, trained animals in circuses that supposedly paint on easels. But you yourself understand that by their own will, these animals would never do this. Not cats, not dogs, not even dolphins and monkeys. Only a person received at that moment the gift of awareness of space, which was the first step on the way from the transformation of an animal into a person. Tens of thousands of years pass. Man is developing at a rapid pace in comparison with other living beings in our reality, which at best stand still and some even die out. And now comes the 6th century before the 0 year. The great Greek is born, of all times, Pythagoras. It was this person who discovered and began interacting with human energetics. It was he who laid the foundation for the current structure of the black cult. But he began to know the world through an ordered abstraction. Simply put, through mathematics. It was the first, classified Pythagorean school that became the basis for the current crow cults. Early mathematical knowledge, nevertheless, fell into the public environment, although the Pythagoreans killed for this. But the most important knowledge, about working with energies and deep knowledge of our reality, remained secret to this day. At the beginning of the 5th century before year 0, Pythagoras fakes his death, and after waiting appears in public in the form of what we would call a curator today, namely in the form of the sculptor Phidias. And already in this image, he makes another somersault of the visual perception of this world. It depicts a sculpture of a human being with precise proportions. Now human awareness of our reality is reaching a radically new level. This proves a new perception of visual objects of our reality. After the death of Phidias, Pythagoras does not accept any other well-known image, but works as a classical progressor in a state of almost a hermit. After 320 years, Pythagoras leaves our reality. After the departure of the first founder, the cult slowed down. Very often energy was used incorrectly and in vain. A lot of important and secret information has flowed under the aisle of the cult. In recent years, Pythagoras actively studied the energy of destruction. After his departure, his followers formed a white destroyer cult. After the departure of the founder's father, the black cult, although not so intensely, still developed. and in the 15th century after year zero, another legendary figure appears, who streamlined the cult, structured the hierarchy, and made the very crow's nests what they are to this day. It was the Tuscan Tommaso di Ser Giovanni di Guidi, or simply Masaccio. At a very early age, he showed incredible results. He, like everyone else up to that period, was both a mentor and a progressor and a curator, but then, having staged his death at an early age, he ordered the entire structure of the cult, and became the first pontiff, and then, like Pythagoras, he left this reality in 250 years. Masaccio also made a global breakthrough. This time, he saw in his hypostasis as an artist and, one might say, fixed the depth of space, that is, he opened a linear perspective to people, which means he allowed three-dimensional space to be projected on two-dimensional surfaces. He built all 15 nests in the course of 70 years, and it was he who began the era that is now called the era of European abjection. The third legendary figure in the history of the cult is the figure of Steve Jobs. His story, and the story of his connection with the cult, is so unique that it deserves a separate video. Let me remind you that you can support the channel with a crypt. A wallet for cryptocurrency is in the description.